Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. This is another year-end review, and as I mentioned, at the end of the year we look back at 2023 and we've enjoyed our pens. Some have given us enormous amount of frustration. Others have given us just a great sense of joy and passion for a great writing instrument. Some we take to the office and write on a daily basis with these pens, and others we write our journals, we write our diaries. I know in one case, I remember a year I wrote a novel in a journal with one fountain pen, which is, I cherish forever. So having said all of that, we're not doing this for the algorithm, frankly. I mean, look, if it's there, all the better, but I'm not doing this for any financial reward. I'm doing this purely out of pleasure. I'm having an absolute ball. I hope you are enjoying. I hope I'm giving you some information, or at least entertaining you, and keeping this passion alive, and that's what it's all about. And this particular category is just another category that I thought I would share with you, and that is the Indian Pen of the Year and the Indian Pen Maker of the Year. I think the Chinese have kind of taken hold and are in the right direction, more than that, in fact. And the Indian pen makers have been often criticized. But there are some great outfits out there, handmade pens, very simple operations, but that keep this passion alive and then offer some very interesting products. And I think I had to just nod a small nod to their work and their efforts, and let's have some fun with this. So without further ado, stay tuned for the Indian Pen of the Year, and at the end I will declare the Indian Pen Maker of the Year. Stay tuned. So we're back on the table, as they say, and let's look at these pens. Now, I've got 12 nominees. I've actually got my top 10 and then 2 honorable mentions, as I've done in some of the other videos that I've presented to date. So there you have it. My number 12 on the list is a pen, an ebonite pen, a gamma pen, which has, it's got, let me just take it out first of all. Here it is. It's a very interesting writing instrument. Take a look at this ebonite. I mean, the matte ebonite finish on this pen is just very attractive, I find. Well made, handmade. Where we get into trouble with this pen is with the nib. Now, it's got a Canwrite flex nib with an ebonite feed, and one would think, wow, this could be very interesting. The problem is this is a real and only an ebonite feed for a eyedropper, which means it's got to be properly set and preferably heat set in that section. So there is no cartridge converter system here. You could see the ebonite feed right there. You've got to fill up the pen, and if you don't heat set that feed in that section properly, it'll start to leak on you. You're going to have flowing issues, etc., etc. Now, I know Goulet Pens has an excellent video on how to heat set these pens, but what happens is that you're discouraged from using them on a daily basis. Very inexpensive. If I could just find the right trick on how to do this properly, I think I would use this pen way more often. And once you do it properly, there's lots of ink that fits in that barrel. You're good for quite a while, and that Canwrite flex nib is just really, really nice. So, hats off. I don't think we should criticize Gamma. And look, it has Gamma written right there. Nice nib, a nice clip, I should say. I don't think we should criticize Gamma if the undersigned cannot heat set it properly an ebonite feed. So there you have it. That's number 12. I think it deserves an honorable mention. The other one that deserves an honorable mention really has the same issue, or poses, at least for me, the same challenge. And this is this ASA Galactic, just a huge pen. Very nice demonstrator. I've had a lot of fun with this pen, but unfortunately it's leaked many times. Right now I've got a Noodler's nib on that. But there again, you've got to heat set that ebonite feed properly. There's no cartridge converter mechanism inside. This is purely an eyedropper. If you don't do it right, it's a tricky proposition. But again, the pricing on this pen is, ridiculously low. I just have to take the time, do this properly, heat set that ebonite feed nicely, and you know what? I can enjoy this pen. And here again, it's such a big pen. There's lots of ink that fits in that barrel, folks. So, honorable mention at my number 11 spot for the ASA Galactic. Okay, let's get to my top 10. Top 10, number 10 on my list is the much maligned Canwright. And this is the particular pen I've chosen is this Canwright Heritage Kingfisher. It's one of the Heritage models, but I found this pen on eBay, and I was attracted by it. Take a look at the multicolored resin there, or plastic or acrylic. You've got a red finial, sort of a gold yellow capping, a light blue body, and a bottom dark blue finial. Put it all together, and I think it gives you a very attractive pen. It's got very light. Where it's got a nice clip. Some people have complained that the clip is not, it's not the greatest. Yes, the quality, if you look at that, you could see that it's sticking out on one side as opposed to the other. It's not the greatest quality control, I agree. But once you open up this pen, it's got that beautiful Canwright flex nib with an ebonite feed. Let me tell you, this one works and works very, very nicely. It's got kind of a captured converter system or piston, if you will. It's got an ink window. There you have it. And it writes. Look at the writing on my writing sample. I mean, this is a broad, and it just writes like a real gem. And I forget what I paid this pen, but certainly under $100, hands down. Maybe even $60, maybe even less than $60. I forget now, but very affordable pen. As I mentioned, not the greatest quality, but I think Canwright does deserve a mention because of their nibs. And there you have it. That's my number 10 on my list. Number 9 on my list is this company by the name, I find an interesting company by the name of Vizier. The pen I've chosen for you is what I think they simply call it the black pen. It's the black kind of cigar-shaped, classic design, acrylic, simple nib, a clip that works very nicely. Nothing more, no frills. It's got Vizier at the bottom there, nicely inscribed. The beauty, first of all, it's a very comfortable pen, but the beautiful portion or part of this pen is this. Take a look at this beautiful engraved nib. Pay all attention you want to pens and the bodies and all that, but if the nib makes the pen. This nib is an absolute joy to write with, and that engraving, and they have a couple of choices in terms of the engraving. In-house nib, very nice, very comfortable pen. Can it be posted? Yes, it can be posted. A little high, but it can be posted. Light. It's a cartridge converter pen. That can be eye dropped, so not a problem there. And take a look at the writing with this beautiful in-house nib. Um, you know, we look at Leonardo, they're using Yowo nibs. You've got several other companies that are using Yowo nibs. Yeah, they give it their touch, but these guys make their own. So, I mean, hats off. It's a, no frill sort of a pen. It's a double broad nib with that special engraving, cartridge converter. It does post, extremely affordable. I think less than $50. You can purchase this on the Vazier website, and it's also available on other websites. Indian Pens, I think, is one of them. But there you have it. And you have a burgundy version. You have a checkered version. You have a yellow flat top version. I like this black, simplistic, very nice. And like I said, that nib makes this pen puts it on my top 10 list. There you go. That's number 9. Number 8. Number 8 is the Magna Carta. And Magna Carta has recently come back on the scene. The Motions pen that I would like to, rank as number 8 is this one. Again, very, very nice. Very nice pen. Big pen. Take a look at that, 3D swirled resin, demo. Very nice clip. Extremely nice design. I think this pen comes also with a similarly designed inkwell, which is a nice touch. It's got their own Magna Carta nibs that are, again, like Vazier and like Canwrite. Hats off to them. This is a broad, writes really, really nice. Extremely affordable price for this Emotions model. The reason why it's number 8, otherwise it would have been probably much higher on my list, especially because of the nib, is that for some reason this pen has a tendency to dry up on me really quickly. What I plan to do is that I recently purchased Private Reserve Infinity inks, which are touted to be inks that prevent your pens from drying, if you will. They keep your pens wet. In terms of the ink. I'm going to ink this pen, in a couple of days during the holiday period and try to enjoy it and see if it actually works. Because I just can't figure it out. Maybe it's because of the way that there is a step down there, deep there, but maybe air comes in somewhere. I have no idea, but for some reason it just doesn't keep it dries up on me very quickly, and that's probably one of the only reasons why it's so low at number 8. Otherwise, very nice edition, Magna Carta, and they're really popular these days. So there you have it. That's my number 8. Number 7 on my list is just an independent pen turner by the name of Phosphor, who makes handmade pens. And I bought a pen from this outfit. Here it is. Take a look at this ebonite. Very multicolored ebonite. This is before with some very interesting chatoyancy. I think this pen is absolutely gorgeous. It's got the classic, I guess, duofold design, with the flat tops and a simple functional nib. And what I did with this pen is I chose to garnish it with a 14 karat Yowo stub. So it writes really, really nicely. It's an eyedropper for now, but can be cartridge converter because of that section that's in there. It's got a Yowo section, and there you have it. I think this is it was a very decent price when I bought it. And Phosphor pens, check it out. Another Indian handmade pens, very nice. That makes my number 7 list. Number 7 on my list, I should say. Now, my number 6, here it is. Now, Ranga has a special place in my heart. I think they're a special group. It's a special pen maker, been around for a long time. It takes the time to handmade their pens, and then they come in this really, really unique way. You know, the way they wrap up their box in this cloth that's hand sewn. I mean, you know, you got to appreciate the art, the artisan nature of their operations. And they're always on time. They're very polite. They've got excellent service. So my number 6 is this beautiful giant of a pen. Take a look at this, folks. This is the Ranga Splendor Peak in this gorgeous chatoyant green resin. I mean, with a really nice clip. I think these are their new clips. It's got a kind of pointed finials, if you will, this Splendor. It's a huge pen, but so comfortable to write with. And there it is. It's got this beautiful Yowo 1.1 stub. Take a look at the writing, folks. It's a cartridge converter, eyedropper. I bought this pen on a Ranga group buys that they send internet. You know, they send you notices. It's got that beautiful flare. You know, forget about posting this pen. It does, but I mean, it becomes huge. So you don't need to post it because take a look how big it is. But what a beautiful writing instrument, folks. When you write with this pen, you really enjoy it. And that's one of my joys with Ranga pens. Very, very nice writing instrument. I've reviewed it in detail. You can take a look at that video if you're interested. So that's my number 6. Number 5 is yet another Ranga. And, you know, it's not their fault that they make beautiful pens. And so there you have it. This is another model, a recent model by the name of the Great Samurai. Again, a nice, huge pen. Beautiful swirled ebonite, polished very nicely. Beautiful clip that's more than functional. You know, classic cigar shaped. Take a look at that nib. Yowo 1.5, I believe. Yeah, it's a 1.5 stub. Very comfortable. Does it post? Yes, but you know, it becomes too big. So we can't speak of posting these huge pens that are almost 7 inches long. So very nice section. Again, extremely well balanced. Great writing experience. And what can I say? Both this one and the previous pen, the pricing is just, you know, under $150. I mean, you can't go wrong. Look at the thickness of that ebonite. It never leaks on me. It stays wet all the time. These pens are just an absolute joy. So there you have it. The Ranga Great Samurai is my number 5 choice. The number 4 choice, I got to tell you, I've been hesitating to buy this model, thinking that it might be, you know, awkward or too small. But at the end of the day, it's one of my favorite Ranga models, and that's the Abhimanyu. This is the Grande. They sell it in a much smaller version as well. But take a look, you know, at the end of the day, I love the shape of this pen. And take a look at this resin. I mean, it's got that chatoyancy. It's got those beautiful swirls, a combination of colors. Really, really well polished. I mean, just a perfection in terms of polishing. Those nice finials. And the shape of this pen, I find, is extremely interesting. Right down to the section. You would think that step down, but it's so smooth. I mean, take a look at the finishing on that step down. It's just rounded off. It's got a beautiful flare. And when you put it in your hands, does it post? Yes, it posts if you so desire. But there again, it's big enough, no need for it. That beautiful flare, it just writes so nicely. And in those Yowo nibs that they send you these pens with are always finely and well tuned right out of the box. Very rarely do I get a Ranga Yowo nib or even a Bach nib that hasn't been tuned. That step down is magic. I'm telling you, it's so smooth. And take a look at it. Just the chatoyancy on that. So all to say that this is just a gorgeous addition by Ranga to my collection. So very, very nice. I've got the normal or standard Abhimanyu, which is much smaller, in a polished ebonite. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pen. There you have it. The Ranga Abhimanyu Grande is my number 4. Number 3 on my list, and these are one of the pens that Magna Carta has come up with recently. It's a resin pen, the Mag 800, and reason I guess all those 8s or the 800 is for the nib, and we'll get to that in a second. Take a look at this beautiful. I originally thought that this was ebonite, but it's not. It's resin. Nice swirls, combination of colors, a kind of a cigar shaped with a little bit, topped off, if you will. Very functional clip. Nothing fancy. Very big, nice sized pen. Doesn't post, by the way. But look at that juicy in-house Magna Carta number 8 size broad nib. Wow. Very, very nice writing experience. I'm having a ball with this pen. So far, so good. It's a Magna Carta, so I was hoping that it would not dry on me. This is one of those inks from Private Reserve. It's the turquoise. It's so far, so good. Take a look at the writing sample. It writes really, really nicely. They're on sale right now at Pen Chalet. If you're interested, jump on it before they're all gone. Very, very, very nice. Magna Carta made my number 3. And they've got a more expensive version with the flex nib, which I understand is completely revolutionized flex nibs or modern flex nibs, because it writes like a vintage. At least the reviewers raved about it. I just found the price a little bit too steep for me, and I'm not a flex sort of a guy. I don't know how to flex right. So I would be spending a lot of money for a beautiful flex nib that I wouldn't be able to use on a regular basis, just because it's not my thing. So I bought the second best thing, which was this Magna Carta Mag 800 at number 3. Number 2 on my list, yes, it's another Ranga, but that's just because it is. It's their Model 5, and let me just get it out of here. Take a look at this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful giant of a pen. I mean, yes, Ranga makes regularly sized pens as well, but I find this Model 5 just so intriguing. It's got the kind of a tapered, cigar-shaped, simple. I chose it without a clip, so I could just enjoy this beautiful cracked ice resin that's chatoyant. It's got all the nice colors that I enjoy. You can ink this pen in almost any color in the spectrum of this resin. Take a look at this. I just touching it, it's just right everywhere. It's just beautifully polished. Then you open it up and it's just, what a writing experience with this. Take a look at this. I mean, it's got that, that beautiful flair. Yes, it's number 2 on my list. It is a pen of the year candidate. That step down is there, but hardly noticeable. Does it post? It does, but you don't need to post this pen. It's just too big. I mean, the reasons why these pens make my list is that they're not Grail pens, but they're pens that when I pick up and I use on a daily basis give me joy and pleasure. And that's what it's all about. I have a Mont Blanc at $1,200 and it's sitting in my drawer. It just doesn't give me the pleasure that this Ranga does. For some reason, I don't know, for the life of me. And I keep putting it in my pen case and it just never gets used. Is it because I just turned off by the price? Perhaps. But this thing at $150 with it's got a It's got a Yowo 1.1 stub. I mean, you know, it's just, it gives me more pleasure than the $1,200 Mont Blanc. It's as simple as that. Take a look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I think it is. So that's my number 2. And yes, my number 1, folks, and I hope you're not disappointed, is another Ranga pen. It's a Ranga Splendor Torpedo. Again, another big-sized pen. Take a look at this resin, folks. It's just spaghetti resin. This one is the classic pointed cigar shaped. It's got I chose it with the clip, which is more than functional. The resin, again, is just beautifully polished, but the real reason why it's number 1 is because of that beautiful nib. Yeah, I chose this pen with a number 8 sized Bach titanium nib, folks. That thing is a gusher. It writes so beautifully. I mean, how can you not enjoy this pen? Does it post? Yes, barely, but no need to post this pen. Smooth. It's got that beautiful, the step down here, you can hardly notice it. I mean, and when this, I mean, take a look at the writing sample. By the way, the ink I put in this pen, I think, is the Colorverse, and it's giving me, you know, it's giving me the red sheen. I mean, yes, the nib cost me a little more, but you know what? On a big pen like this, I figured I did want to try that titanium number 8 size nib, and I don't regret it. It is number 1 on my list, folks, the Ranga Splendor Torpedo. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my 12 nominees. Let me show them to you all at once. Let me just retract the pen a little bit so you can see them all. There they are. Some really nice writing instruments I find in this choice of 12. You know, Indian pens are well priced. Some give you more grief than others. And, you know, Magna Carta is stepping up their game. They call themselves the luxury Indian pen maker, if you will. This phosphor pen also gives me a lot of pleasure. You know, the ASA Gamma, Can Write, Vizier, all lower, give me pleasure because they're such well-priced pens. But out of all that, I've got to declare the Indian pen maker as Ranga. Ranga, to me, when you combine the quality, the choice of models that they have, the choice of materials that they have in both resin and ebonite, with or without their classic and their new clips. They give you a choice of nibs. You can I have them with no nibs, but with a particular section, you can add your own nibs. You can have the Bach nibs. You can have the number 8 size. You can have the number 6 size. You know what? And all the different models, different sizes. I think Ranga tops them all. So Ranga, thank you very much again for providing me enormous amount of writing pleasure. Hats off. You are the Indian pen maker of the year. Thanks a lot, folks. I hope you enjoyed this this review and this rendition of all my favorite Indian-made pens. And stay tuned for the next review. Enjoy your holidays and be well, be safe, subscribe, but most of all, comment. Should you have deleted any? Should I have deleted any? Did I forget any Indian pens? I know Lotus doesn't make this list, but I plan to purchase a few of their pens. Sorry, folks, I don't know what happened there. Just my connection on my Atom Mini just kind of died on me. But in any event, all to say, just conclude, have great holidays. If they're not finished yet, if they are, just welcome it. We welcome 2024, all of the health and happiness that you and your family can share. All the best. Ciao.